Hey, y'all, we are sitting here in Selina Hostel in Casco Viejo, Panama City, with, as you know, is going to be the way we do a glass of rum. Cheers, salud. And this is, I think, now officially our favorite. It's Florida Caña, 12 years. Prefer the 18, but they had the 12 here at Selina. So it's delicious on the rocks. We're going to tell you about our trip to Panama City, and specifically, we are staying in Casco Viejo, which is like old Panama, and you're going to see a little bit more about that. But we haven't left Casco except for a few excursions. We've been here 7 days, Saturday to tomorrow Saturday, and we absolutely love it. We're already planning our next trip to come back, and just can't wait to tell you a little bit about it.
Yes. So in Panama, they work with U.S. dollars. And what about those coins, though?
So anywhere you go, you can pay with USD. You may get change. Like, let's say you have a $13 tab and you give a 20. You may get a 5 and a few coins because they have a coin that's a Panamanian currency, and I don't know what it's called, but it's 1 for 1. So it'll be a $1 coin that you can turn around and use. Something for me that is really important for y'all to know, like if you're like us and regularly use Amex, I think, let's say we've had 50 transactions, maybe 3 took Amex. Almost everywhere takes Visa and MasterCard, but almost
Mostly
nowhere.
Visa. Okay, almost nowhere Amex. Hardly Visa.
No, most of them took both.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
hardly nowhere Amex.
So for starters, one thing to know, which is really cool, is Uber is not only readily available, like always can get an Uber within a couple of minutes, but it's also very cheap. The airport ride, the ride from the airport to Casco Viejo, Selina Hostel, where we're staying, which is right in the heart of the downtown area of Casco Viejo, was about 20 to 30 minutes, give or take with traffic, and about $20 to $30. We just booked we pre-booked our Uber to go back to the airport in the morning. I think it was $27 for an Uber XL. We've Ubered a couple of times. You can walk anywhere in Casco Viejo, but if she was wearing nice heels or something, the streets are all like cobblestone or sometimes wet, like puddles of mud if it's or water if it's raining. So we'll Uber, right? And it's about $2 or $3 for an Uber, which is super, super affordable.
So one thing I want to note about the Uber app, when you're here, if you have your cash payment, Venmo or Cash App, it won't take that. So I got a little frazzled when we were at the airport because I only have Venmo attached to my Uber, so I kind of had to stand there pretty quick in order to upload like a credit card. So that was just one little small thing that will help ease some stress.
All right, so know that getting around, super easy, right?
Very easy.
I mentioned earlier that we're staying at Selina. This is our third stay at a Selina property. We have previously stayed at the Tulum location with Selina at the beach in Tulum. We've stayed at Selina and in Jaco Beach in Costa Rica. And we chose to stay at Selina here because, sometimes we want to take a trip that's just, me and Jen, we're just connecting, more of a romantic trip. This one we knew we were in a state where we wanted to be around people, connect, vibe. Selina's always good for that. They have different kinds of rooms from the shared room that you typically think of in a hostel, but they also have the other end of that experience that you don't typically think of with a hostel. We have a suite with a nice sized bed, a really nice view, private bathroom, everything private. They also have, which you can kind of see behind us right here, they have a nice library, which in this space they have free yoga every morning at 8 a.m. There's the library, they have a cinema, they have a shared kitchen if you want to use. Downstairs, there's an area with a coffee bar, a pool table that's included. They have tours here that you can do. There's a free walking tour every day that they offer at 10 a.m. And then there's also some of the tours. We usually use Airbnb experiences, and we'll talk more about those. But they also have some of the more common and popular tours that you can purchase through Selina. And we'll talk more about this, but they have a really nice upstairs bar and pool.
Yes. One more thing to note, they also offer, they're very big on their co-working spaces. It seems like they're very big on digital nomads that like to travel and stay here maybe for a month at a time. So I think anywhere we've been, if you need to just kind of work still or hop on the internet, that's you won't have too much of a hard time. Although there were a few moments where our internet did go out, but it seemed like that was just due to the power going out for a few seconds at a time, but it didn't really interfere with us to feel frustrated at all.
No, and we've, like, I've only used my Wi-Fi, but, like, everything's been fine. I FaceTime with some friends here and family. Everything's to be fine. Jen's worked, a little bit while she's here.
I've worked on the computer. I've worked on my phone. Also traveling on the streets, I have not had an issue with service at all anywhere. I've been using WhatsApp as well as iMessage for the United States, and I haven't had a problem.
So yeah, we love Selina.
And overall, it wasn't too expensive. So I feel like you said it was more expensive, the food and drinks, but the lodging and the flights were the cheapest.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah, so for our room here at Selina for 7 nights, we paid around $800, which is not.
And it's for a private room.
Yeah, for a private room. And we checked Airbnbs, and they were around the same for like a nice one bedroom around Casco.
Yeah, some of those other Airbnbs did look nice, maybe even a smidge nicer, but we were ready to do more of the community thing. We wanted to be able to have, the rooftop bar and the walking tours, and we wanted to connect with people.
Yeah.
We're just kind of in that moment right now for the years. So.
Yeah, believe it or not, we're both a little introverted, and so I swear.
We are.
So if we stay in a place by ourselves, we're probably not going to meet many people. So we met some cool people here at Selina. So overall, easily, hands down, what we've spent the most money on has been food and drink. I think usually when we travel, that's the one item that there is no budget, just because we love to experience different cultures through food, music, and just kind of connecting with people. So some of our favorite restaurants, I guess. One thing to say, in Casco Viejo, there's amazing rooftop bars. The one here at Selina is great. There is a really nice pool that if you're staying here, I guess anybody has access to if you're here, but then restaurant and bar all around it. There's different kinds of music every night. On Wednesday night, there's salsa, which seems to be probably the most popular night here. Last night, it was more of a younger crowd, and I heard T-Pain and like Alicia Keys and Jay-Z and things like that.
Yeah.
We were in the bed watching Netflix, but till like 4 a.m. they were going hard. And they also have a club on the lower floor.
Yes. So that is one thing to note. If you stay at Selina's, which we've had that experience even in Tulum, I don't remember when we were in Costa Rica too much, but the music is loud, so they tend to have just late night partying, club vibes. So if you're someone that really takes like your sleeping very seriously, then it may not be the place for you.
Right.
We're able to deal with it. I haven't really had a hard time with it at all. But it is loud. It is very, very loud. So again, be prepared. I feel like the AC kind of helped, like tone down the club music, but yeah, it's definitely something to take into account.
So we'll link some of our other favorite rooftop bars in the description, but there's just tons. Really, it's one of those cities where you can walk around and you can throw a rock and find a great restaurant. We also liked, for our anniversary a few nights ago, we went to La Vida, and y'all, I can't remember a time that I felt like I had a better value for a culinary experience. From the moment we walked in, we were just like, whoa, this place is nicer than the pictures, which were already amazing. It just felt like an Instagram reel walking in. We were greeted like we were royalty.
The service was outstanding.
It's just amazing. And you'll see some photos, but and then also when I opened the menu, I remember thinking, there's no way it's this cheap, because things aren't expensive here in Panama. They're really not.
I have to share this with them. He had to ask him, is this for a bottle or is this for a glass?
For wine.
For wine. He couldn't believe the prices of the bottles on there. He was oh my God, is this an expensive glass or is this a really cheap bottle of wine? And it was very good wine.
Yeah, like the Tempranillos, which I love a Tempranillo, and the bottles were like from 32 to 68, roughly. And so I was like, there's no way. And when I tell you, this was a nice restaurant.
It was very nice.
So we got like a bottle of wine. She got a really nice steak. I had sea bass, which was the catch of the day. We ordered multiple appetizers and sides, and I think our bill before tip was right over $100.
I couldn't believe that.
And again, service, I've never had, no restaurant I've ever been to in my life had better service.
I agree.
So, Ayala Vida, hopefully you're watching this. Thank you for the great experience. Also, there was a restaurant like right around the corner called La Barbara that's named that way because, one, it's almost like a speakeasy feel. When you walk in, it's a little bit hard to find. But then during the day, it operates as a salon.
A hair salon.
Yeah, a hair salon. And then, yeah, not like Socrates and them sitting around having discussions on.
No, I mean, it could have been any kind of salon, like nail salon or whatever.
This is us. And then at night, in the back, is a really small, cool restaurant and cocktail bar. The cocktails were delicious. We had some appetizer that was like,
Were
it
they
was
kinda
like
like
a
dumplings,
it was like a
kind of?
mushroom dumpling smoked. It was
maybe my most
delicious.
favorite appetizer like in my entire
Yeah.
life. It was so good. I
Yeah.
couldn't even talk
Yeah.
while I was chewing. I was
Yeah.
just like, just shut up. I just need to taste it.
And then we had like 3 sushi rolls. They were good. I'd say 7 out of 10.
They were good. I feel like overall it was maybe more of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Plus the appetizers.
Yeah.
The cocktail was really good too. So the food was okay, but it was definitely worth checking out. And
Yep.
it wasn't very expensive at all.
Yeah.
And they gave us a free shot for TJ's birthday.
Hey. And there was another place I wanted to mention. Like, if you are traveling on a budget, what's the name of the rooftop where we had lunch?
The Casa Casco?
No, the lunch menu.
Oh, Tantalo.
Tantalo.
Tantalo Hotel and Rooftop Bar. Oh.
So they're apparently, we're going to go there tonight. Apparently they're one of the most Instagrammable, cool rooftop bars at night. But one of our tour guides said to check out their lunch menu, and you can do a 3-course appetizer, entree, and dessert, includes a drink, and even some of their beers are included for like $9. And when I tell you like salmon, burger, like this isn't like bite-sized stuff. It was the
Full
best
meals. It was so good.
deal. $9.
$9.
So that's a place you can check out. And if you're into nightlife, there's tons of bars from upscale to just ratchet. One place we went to a few nights ago is called Chupitos. And if you're following us on Instagram, you've already seen this place. But like, it felt like something that I would have gone to on spring break when I was 19 years old.
In Miami.
In Miami, but it was just super dope, like dark, like basement kind of feel, and they're setting all the shots on fire, people dancing on the bar.
Exactly. And one thing I was surprised about is, so it seemed like it was great entertainment, music was great. They kept, every time you ordered a round of shots, they would do the fire. And one thing I was surprised about was the shots were very, very cheap. They were only like $4 to $5, so you could do a great round, have all that fun. It was like $20.
Yeah.
So it was another place of great value.
For sure. Probably my favorite thing about this trip to Panama has been the tours we've gone on. We booked 3 Airbnb experiences, which typically is more than we would do for one trip. But we did one that was with a young lady named Rafaela from Brazil, who we've never taken professional pictures, and I wanted to. We were celebrating multiple things on this trip, and I wanted to do something special to capture the moment. And she just did such an amazing job, I think, making us both feel comfortable from the beginning. Because if you've never done, or even if you have, like taking professional pictures, unless you're a model, I imagine, it's weird, like, right? You're on the
Yes.
spot, and I don't know. It felt weird to me, but from the get, I felt comfortable.
Yes, another thing I really liked about her experience with the photos is overall she made it very quick and easy. So we weren't out there for like 3 hours, like under the sun. We did try to go earlier, so it was a little bit cooler. But we were done in less than an hour, and
Yeah.
we got so many different shots. So it was like boom, 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 done. So you don't have to worry about like just all the effort and the walking and the sweating. So she just
And you look
made
so
it-
beautiful.
Oh, that's sweet. That's me. The picture's also came out so beautiful. Highly, highly recommend her.
100%.
She did just such a great job.
Yep. And then the next two we booked with the same company. The first one was to what they call, it was Gatun Island, or like if you see the tour, it's probably going to say Monkey Island. And Cruz was our tour guide that day, and he picked us up from the hotel. Everything was super organized. We went out, caught a boat, or a canoe, I guess, and we went out, I guess boat. So we went out and went to 3 or 4 different little islands through the Panama Canal, and you know, we didn't know. He said, you know, obviously monkeys are not paid actors, so we can't promise you what animals you're going to see. But we saw 3 different species of monkeys. Some of them came and ate fruit out of our hands. I remember the first one came straight to you.
He did. The monkey loved me.
And he
was so cute.
He took a grape out of her hand, and then like Cruz was feeding the monkeys bananas, and it was just really, really beautiful to see that wildlife. You know?
Yes. But one thing also to note, which is we wish we knew, it's a good idea to get a seat on the front of the boat. And we kind of experienced that on a few different excursions. Always try
Be selfish.
Always try to go to the front of the boat, because that's really ultimately where you're going to get the best. Whether it's feeding animals, watching animals, being on the ocean, that's really like the best spot for you. So always try to get on the front of any boat. Or maybe any bus, too.
Yeah. I don't know about the bus. I like sitting in the back of the bus. And to me, and we're shooting this like just live and organic, but to me, the highlight of the trip has been the last tour we went on, which was yesterday, right? To the Mbeda Indigenous Village. You know, one of the things I think about when I'm traveling is what can I not do at home? And I don't know that I've ever done anything, and I hate to say more unique, so I'm going to break my rule. Either something's unique or it's not. But I've never done anything that I'm more...
As unique.
No, it's still, like, unique is
Okay.
unique. But, like, there's no, like, this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. We went with, now this time our tour guide was Esteban, and dude's awesome.
5 stars.
Esteban,
5 stars.
my homie. But he, you know, he picked us up. This was a bigger group. There were 20 of us. And we went out to...
He picked everyone up from their respective hotels, which that's another thing that made all these excursions great, because having to meet somebody or take a taxi, but they come and pick you up at your hotel, multiple people, and then we head to the excursion.
Yeah, it made it, that's really nice, especially at 7:30 a.m. pickup, right? So he picks us up, and everything was organized. I didn't feel like I had to question anything. You show up and you go. So we go out. It's probably about a 45-minute, no, longer than that. It's a bus ride.
It was about 45 minutes.
Yeah. Maybe after we picked everybody up. So we go out and we get on, this was a little canoe. And y'all, as you can see, it was just amazing. We took a long boat ride through some of the most beautiful scenery that you can imagine. The weather was perfect. You just felt like you were just like an honored guest to be present with Mother Nature.
We went completely off the grid. So we were kind of going through this, I guess, is that a river? That's the river that feeds into the Panama
I can't remember the name of it, but
I can't remember it either. But you could just feel it's so remote.
She even said one time, like, I feel like we're on one of those movies where, like, they didn't know what they were about to get into.
Yes, that's what it looked like. So there's 20 of us, so we took 2 different boats, and they were steered and driven by
The indigenous folks.
By the indigenous folks, yeah. And they're like dressed in their, that was interesting. We're like,
Their
wow, this
traditional
is really,
garb.
and they're traditional with the guys had the little skirts on.
That's what they
and-
called them.
Yeah, so there's one guy at the front kind of helping steer it, and another guy in the back kind of doing the engine.
And to speak on that, like, Esteban told us that a while back that these tribes used to make their income off of agriculture, and the Panamanian government said basically you can't do agriculture anymore because we want to maintain
protect the natural forest.
Yeah, protect the forest. And so now they're giving them basically they are working with these tour guides to allow people to come in and observe their culture in exchange for money. So they get some coin off of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Which made me feel better about going in. Because at first I was like, oh, this feels
Yes.
kind of icky. But then when I
Yes.
learned that, it made me feel a lot better.
Exactly.
Right? You agree?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, because at first you feel like, are we exploiting these people?
Yes.
Are we? But then it's like such an even exchange. It's almost like they probably welcome it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it may ease their life a little bit
Maybe.
also. And just,
Hopefully.
It's like, it felt like an even exchange when we
Yeah.
left. It felt
Yeah.
very, because you could also buy some of
Right.
the stuff that they make. But okay, so we got there.
Yeah, and we get there and like, you get off the boat and there's like they're just sitting there you're greeted with traditional dance.
They welcome you. It
And
was like
song.
a whole welcome song.
It was.
Like,
It
when
was
we
ceremonial.
approached. Yes.
And I'm a huge, like, as you know, in my work that I do, I really place a lot of value in ritual and ceremony. And so that it was special to me. And then you go up into the village and you get educated on the history of the tribe and, where they came from, the migration experience from Colombia to Panama, and then maybe even what could happen in the future. And then you learn about what they do in their village on their day-to-day, the education of the kids, which again, I loved how, learning how they go to school and things like that. And we really got an opportunity to interact with the folks of the village. And most of them speak their own indigenous language, I think everyone, and Spanish. And so we were able to interact with them and even communicate with them, which is, again, just, for those of y'all that are learning Spanish, there's certain moments when it's like, oh my God, this is why I do this and this is why I invest the time. And for me, that was really special to be able to talk to some of these folks when they're like, oh, you speak Spanish.
They're really surprised when he speaks Spanish. He's got blue eyes, white boy from the United States, and he's all like, and sometimes I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
he's doing a lot better than me with my rusty
Y
Spanish.
por eso practico todos los días. Gracias, Duolingo. Y ahora, jump speak.
Okay, so we also got to tour the village. They let us do kind of open time where we were able to kind of walk around
Yeah.
to their houses. I had a little bit of a stomach ache, so I couldn't like really enjoy it as much. I had to kind of stay off on the side. That's a whole other story.
But thanks to the ladies for fixing you the tea.
Yeah, so sweet. So they like fixed me some kind of
Soursop tea.
tea, which I've been hearing so much about that, like all over Instagram. So I'm definitely going to do some more research on the benefits of it. So it's really good. It definitely helped. And they also prepared a whole meal for us, which I don't know if we're going to be able to like show the pictures in this, but they had this huge table and everybody, they used like the leaves from the big banana trees in order, like they kind of folded it up so it kind of acted like a plate almost, not a plate, like
a cone almost.
A cone funnel. So they kind of added the tostones in there, like the fried plantains
Y yuca.
and yuca and fresh tilapia from the river over there, and and all the fruit. The fruit that's just native to here, well, from here, and the fruit was so good. It's not the fruit that we eat in the United States at all.
But you got to bring your own tahini.
I don't care how organic you buy in the United States, it's not going to taste this good.
No, claro que no.
No, not at all. But that was absolutely delicious. And then right after that, they did their like ceremonial dances. So the guys came out first. They did. They're more of.
The women came out first.
The women came out first. Well, the women.
The guys
did.
were playing.
They were playing. All right. So the guys played all the instruments, which are handmade there on the land. Which that's a whole other list there, and then all the women came out and they started doing their ceremonial dances for us, and then they invited everyone there to come in and dance with them. It was great. TJ danced.
I got to bust a move.
He did with this indigenous pretty girl. I was like, it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun, and then after
Era
that,
guapísima, sí.
she wasn't as pretty as me.
Claro que no.
And okay, so then we were ready to just gather our stuff and then head on this beautiful hike. Well, we got back on the canoes. They were really wooden canoes that were made by these indigenous people. I started kind of like really looking at it, and I'm like, wow, they really made this boat by hand. You could tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And
At one point, I looked back and noticed that our capitan the whole time had a cup and was taking water out of the
Really?
canoe.
Okay. There were a few moments that were a little scary, but TJ was like, trust them, they know what they're doing. And I'm like, which they did. They absolutely did. But there were certain moments that you just start getting like closer to the
Bank.
Yeah, to the bank, and I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. But they know what they're doing. They've been doing this all their lives
Forever.
and generations. So, so that was maybe another 15-minute boat ride,
Yep.
canoe ride, and then we got to another location, like just kind of deep in this forest, where we had another maybe 15-minute walk. Through some water, right? And then it just got us to this amazing waterfall. Like as soon as you came around the corner, it was like, wow, this was definitely worth the hike, because it's very rocky and you have to make sure you wear like good water shoes, not regular hiking shoes, but just good water shoes that probably have a really like sturdy sole.
And just FYI, we found some. We were unprepared, and we found some the day before at a market here in Panama City for $3.99.
Yeah, it was $4.99, but okay. Yes. But it worked out. The sole wasn't like as tough, so if you can bring like
$3.99.
It was $4.99. I'm sure.
I have the receipt.
I bet I have the receipt. Okay. All right. So you're like walking, you're climbing on a bunch of rocks that are slippery, so you definitely have to be careful. And then once you come around this larger rock, and then you see the waterfall.
Unless you're a pretty girl and you have a really handsome indigenous guide that's going to hold your hand the whole way through.
Yes, there was an indigenous guy, and his name was Ariel. And we were talking, and he just held my hand the whole way.
Ariel, we're
made
gonna
sure
fight.
I didn't fall.
We're going to fight, Ariel.
He made the experience great. I felt safe. It was awesome. All right, so then we got to the waterfall, and they gave us an opportunity to kind of swim in the
Water?
yeah, but I'm sure it's called something over there, whatever. And the tour guides.
What's it called over there?
The tour guides were great again, because they were there holding people's phone, taking. They let us get.
Esteban, and I can't remember your homeboy's name. Best service ever on a tour.
Everyone wanted their pictures like right under the waterfall, so you can imagine it's very strong. It's pushing you down, and they were so okay with like taking our cell phones, which we were a little nervous about taking it like into the water, but they did such a great job, and they offered to take. They were just taking pictures the whole time. They didn't get to enjoy 1 second of it, but I guess this is their job, so they didn't care too much.
Yeah.
So we got some great photos. And
Yeah, so we recommend all those tours. And again, the information on those will be in the description. So overall, our stay in Panama, 10 out of 10.
It was so great.
We'll definitely be back. We want to visit other places in Panama, but we're also already ready to book another trip back to Casco Viejo and explore more, just see more, do more. Like I'm not playing now. I feel like I'm in Dead Poet Society. Got to do more, got to be more. If anybody, please, if somebody knows what I'm talking about, like hit me up in the comments. Call me Nwanda. Anyway, all right, it's time to go.
And get the next round of
We're going to go get our next round, get ready, and have our last night in Panama.
Yes, last night. So sad. But thank you,
yeah.
y'all.
Thanks for roaming around with us. Cheers.